Let's talk old fashions, but first things first. Welcome to Stillworks and Brewing. My name is Randy, and this is a channel that's all about home distillation and brewing. So if we want to talk old fashions, one of the first things we need to talk about is the history of old fashions. The old fashioned has a very long history, and I'm going to just give you a couple of the little short snippets of its history. The old fashioned is one of the classic cocktails, and there's a lot out there that believe that it's one of the first cocktails that was ever come up with. It's a simple cocktail. It has a spirit, a sweetener, and a bittering agent, okay? It dates all the way back into the early 1800s. But then in the mid 1800s, when more complicated drinks were coming about, people started asking, hey, can I have a drink in that old-fashioned way? And they say that's how the name was born. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what they say, all right? And I think we'll go with that. And the old-fashioned way was spirits, a sweetener, and a bittering agent, okay? And at this particular time, there was no ice involved. They didn't have it, unless the pond was frozen over, but they really didn't have ready ice. All right, so the name was formed. All right, the next thing, others said after Prohibition that they say that the alcohols weren't the best in the world. So they started adding fruit to the old-fashioned, orange and cherry, to help cover up the taste of the old fashions. Yeah, like I said, they used oranges, they used cherries, and some even put pineapple in it, whatever the case may be. All right, there are many claims to who invented the old fashioned and where it was invented. I really couldn't get a good answer on that. There's a lot of stuff out there, but I'm sure glad that they did. All right. Okay, now let's go over the ingredients of an old-fashioned. And the ingredients is, like I said before, is a very simple cocktail. You need a type of spirits. It's your choice. You can have whiskey, you can have bourbon, you can have gin, you can have tequila. There's many ways that you make your favorite old-fashioned. I'm going to use bourbon because bourbon is my favorite. Okay, and as it goes, the next ingredient would be a sweetener. A sweetener could be sugar cubes. It could be a simple syrup. It could be agave syrup. It could be honey. So it's your it's all your choice in what you like. All right. The other ingredient is bitters. Traditionally, I think orange bitters is the bitters of choice, but you can get lemon bitters, you can get cherry bitters, allspice bitters. They make bitters in all different ways, and shapes and forms and all that. So, that's the bitter. Excuse me. Dilution. A lot of people way back when they diluted the spirit with just a little bit of water. My favorite is big ol' ice cube. Well, let me back up. Some use crushed ice and some use big ol' ice cube. And that's my favorite, the big ice cube. All right, and then I like to let it melt just a little bit, and that gives you your dilution, plus it's cold. All right, one more. The fruit in the drink. Like I said before, a lot of people use orange, a lot of people use cherry, or both, or a combination of anything you want or anything you choose. Makes a good old-fashioned. So, old-fashions, I don't think there's no real set rules. All right. Within reading, there is a bunch of different kinds of old-fashions. Here's some examples, and this ain't all of them, just a few. You got an almond old fashioned, you got a gin old fashioned, you got a maple bacon old fashioned, a toasted old fashioned. That sounds really interesting. A banana old fashioned, a coffee old fashioned, pumpkin spice old fashioned, smoked old fashioned. I love them. And this one is really sounded interesting. Corn on the cob old fashioned. That one's made with charred corn and corn liquor. That one actually really sounds interesting to me. But like I said, your combinations are endless. All right, and then one I don't want to ever forget, and I learned this from friends, is the Wisconsin Old Fashioned, which it's a little bit different, but the same. The only difference is it's made with brandy and a splash of clear soda also. I've had them and they are delicious. They are good. All right, let's see what's next. All right, well, I guess the next thing we need to do is we're going to make an old fashioned. And show you how I enjoy an old fashioned, how simple it is to make. I like 2 sugar cubes in the bottom of the glass, right? And then you take your bitters and give it a couple good splashes there of your bitters. Then you want to add, now this is up to you, you can add 1 or 2 cherries without the stems. So I'm going to put in 1. And then a half a slice of the orange. Okay? All right. So then what you want to do is you want to muddle that up. So you want to crush the sugar and the cherry and the orange all together. Then you want to make it kind of like okay. So you muddled that all together, and then the next thing you want to do, now you got 2 choices here. You can either add the 2 ounces of bourbon in the glass now, or, and this is the way I like to do it, I like to take my big old ice cube, put it in the glass, and it will melt so it'll fit. And then I like to add my bourbon into my drink. So I'm gonna add my bourbon. I like to pour it right over that ice. And that's about 2 ounces. Okay. Then you want to I like to give that a stir. See how melted ice, nice and neat. Just give it a quick little stir. All right. And then we will garnish it. And then I'm going to garnish it with a cherry and a quarter slice of orange, or a half a slice of orange. Okay? So that is our old fashioned. Don't that look good? Let's give it a try. I mean, you still taste the great taste of the bourbon. The amount of sweetener is up to you. 2 sugar cubes to me. Mine's got a little extra bourbon in it. Imagine that. So I think it's just the right amount of sweetness. It ain't real sweet, just a hint. And plus, wow. You can drink them all night long. Man, it's a good looking drink. All right? Okay, well that is our old fashioned. All right, in closing, well, first things first, I'm gonna give you a heads up for next week. bitters. We're going to make some of our own. And I wanted to make bitters. I got 4 different recipes we're going to make. And I mean, to me, bitters are just like the salt and pepper on the steak. Yeah, it's what makes the drink, okay? Good bitters. All right. So make sure you come back next week and check out our 4 different recipes of bitters we're making. And that's what that is. Hey, and then maybe, this is just an ideal. Do you think we could maybe highlight some of the different old fashions that we talked about, like the almond and all the others that we talked about? Maybe mix them in with moonshine Wednesday. I don't know. Let's try it out. Let's see what we get. Yeah, if you would like something like it, just to let me know in the comments if you want to see more old fashions or any other mixed drinks. Could be interesting. Let me have another sip of this. That is delicious. All right. So I'm going to go and I'm going to enjoy the rest of this drink. And but first I want to do is I want to thank you for stopping by. And we'll see you next time here on Stillworks and Brewing. Cheers, everybody. That is good.